Hello, everyone. We are back. I finally figured out a camera angle where you don't see my door and instead see the bookshelf and look at her go. Summertime is like my favorite reading time, as I said in my booktube newbie tag. Um, I love reading outside. It's like my favorite place to read. I love just sitting in the sun, soaking in all that vitamin D, and just reading a lot of good books. There's nothing as vibey in my opinion, and yeah, so I'm very excited. I also just always get the most reading done during summer because obviously there's no school. Um, I'm a lot less depressed than I usually am because again, I'm out a lot. It's a lot of sunlight and that stuff. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into the books that I have here. Okay, so the first book I have on this year's summer TBR is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoyevsky. This is the Penguin Black Spine, the new version. I personally, not gonna lie, I really like these. I like the minimal look, okay? I also find that the font is a lot nicer than they are in the older editions, at least the older editions that I have. This story follows a man, and wow, what a summary. This story follows a man who murders his landlady. He's a student, he's under a lot of stress and especially financial stress. Um, and he is in the belief that, killing his landlady will solve all of his problems because he won't have any debt anymore. Nobody's going to ask him any questions. So he commits the murder, and I think it's a lot about him having to deal with the aftermath of that crime. I have started this book before. As you can see, there's some tabbing going on. And while I enjoyed it, I just struggled a lot. It is definitely not the kind of book where you put it down and you immediately just want to pick it back up again. Um, but I've had this on my TBR since 2020. It's one of the oldest books on my TBR, and I just I'm going to be honest with you, if I'm not reading it this summer, I'm probably going to get rid of it. Because if I'm not reading it this summer, I'm probably not going to ever read it. Yeah, that's Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoyevsky. I have to let the cat in 1 second. I have A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. This is the Penguin English Library Edition. It's very cute. For some reason, first of all, it's very floppy. And for some reason, I ordered this online and it arrived broken. Like the last... Like, this stuff just... I received this copy like this, okay? I didn't do it. It wasn't my fault. But I was like, nah, it's not worth the hassle of sending it back. I have actually started this one before I went to town with the annotations, okay? And as I said, I started this and I really enjoyed it, but it was probably the most difficult book I've ever read. And I DNF'd because I still want to finish it, but I DNF'd at 140, so this far in, which is not that bad to be honest. Like, I was pretty proud, but it took me like months to get there. It's honestly kind of the same case like with Crime and Punishment. I've had this book on my TBR for over 2 years now, or almost 2 years, and I just feel like if I'm not reading it like within the next few months, I'm probably never going to pick it up, and then I might as well just unhaul it. So this takes place during the French Revolution, partly in London and partly in Paris, and that's honestly all I remember. I know there is a very famous love triangle. I really can't tell you anything else. Have I written anything down? No. That was it. Also, Charles Dickens, fun fact, wrote my favorite book, A Christmas Carol, and that's the only book by him that I have read, which I also find kind of sad. So even if I end up unhauling, DNFing and then unhauling this, I will probably still try to read something else. Also, this copy has illustrations. Look at it. Yeah. So I will still probably read more by him, even if I end up not finishing this book. Next up, I have Antony and Cleopatra by William Shakespeare. This is the Pelican Shakespeare edition. I love this one. And I also want to read, insert photo here, Romeo and Juliet as well by William Shakespeare. I've just been in a Shakespeare mood recently, and I've had this one for a while. I got this last year when I was in Venice with my family, and I got this at this very cute little bookshop, and I just really want to read it. I have no idea what Antony and Cleopatra is about, so that's all I can tell you about it. I once heard like a monologue from one of the characters, and that's why I wanted to read the play. That's all I can tell you about it. And then with Romeo and Juliet, I read a student abridged translation in German class in year 10. So it was an abridged version, and the translation wasn't accurate to the Shakespearean English. It was very modernized so that us stupid heads could, understand what was going on. I really enjoyed it back then. I was probably the only one in my entire grade that enjoyed reading that. And I don't know, but for some reason I've just felt very inclined to pick it up again and to just reread it. The intro to Romeo and Juliet, I can't quote it, but I think it's one of the best introductions to anything ever written. And it's something along the lines of like, I remember only one line, and it's like, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean, and it's very good, okay? So I just want to reread that. Then I have Northanger Abbey and Emma by Jane Austen. Both of these I have read before. Both of these are gorgeous copies. This one is the Pan Macmillan Collector's Library. I love these editions so much. I think they're so cute. Look at this. And this one is the Wordsworth Collector's Library. Also so cute. I love these editions as well. I have a few others of them. So again, I have read both of these, and they're currently like competing. That's maybe a little bit dramatic, but they're currently competing for the spot of my favorite Jane Austen novel. I have now read all of Jane Austen's novels, and for the longest time, Emma was the second one I read. For the longest time, I thought that Emma was going to be like the one and only all-time favorite. And then I read this cute little book, this almost novella of a story, and boy, did I fall in love. I think in life we should all be looking for Henry Tilney. Like, Henry Tilney is the superior Austen hero, and I will not hear it any other way. I will die on that hill. But I obviously still really love Emma. I love the characters, especially Emma. I think she's a great protagonist. And so I got both of these editions fairly recently, because my mom asked me what I wanted for Easter, and both of these I had kind of wag editions of. My Emma edition is so heavily annotated that I probably can't reread it, so I was like, I sent my mom both of these and was like, hey, I would really like to get one of these. That would be super nice. Thank you so much. And my mom just got me both, which obviously super nice of her. And my thought was, I'll just reread the one that I get for Easter. And then I got both. So now I gotta reread both, which honestly makes sense, because then really I'll be able to determine which one I want to read. I'm probably going to read these during Jane Austen July. I forgot her name, but one booktuber is like hosting a read-along every year called Jane Austen July. I'll leave the channel and the information down below, and I'm probably going to participate this year and read these two, hopefully. My computer went up. 1 second. Then I have another reread, Call Me By Your Name by Andre Aciman. I have read this one again. My copy is completely battered. The water damage on this. I took this to camping one day, and we went out for the day, and I just left it out on the table. We were in Croatia, I believe. I just left it out on the table, and then there was a heavy rainstorm while we were out. So when I came back, this book was completely drenched. I was honestly afraid that I wouldn't be able to open it again. So this copy has slight water damage. The reason I want to reread this is because I just saw the movie for the first time like a few days ago, and honestly I was so tired. I was probably delusional like halfway through the movie, but I loved it, and it's stuck with me in the way that I feel like a lot of people say the book has stuck with them. Um, Also, it's been like 2 years since I read this, and so I just want to see how my perspective on this has changed. This is the story of a young Italian boy called, I was about to say Timothy Chalamet, called Elio. And his family has like a beautiful country house in the north of Italy. And every single year for summertime, they move there and they invite, or they have like an international person staying there, and they help out in the house for free housing. And this year, it's an American writer. He's like 23. I have forgotten his name. It doesn't say. Not Andre Aciman, Army Hammer. Army Hammer is visiting, and the two of them strike up an intense and intimate affair, which obviously there's a 6 year age gap. Elio is 17, which is kind of icky, but it's Italy in the 80s, so in context of the culture, it's probably not that icky. And yeah, I love the movie, and I just want to see how the book holds up now, 2 years later, and with the context of the movie in mind. And then the last one that I own physically is 7 Nächte in Tokyo by Cecilia Vinesse. This is an advanced reader copy that I found on the street. Literally in Germany, it's like quite the thing that when you don't want stuff anymore, you just leave it out on the street in hopes that somebody's going to pick it up, and I did. So good for them, I guess. First up, this outfit. Has anything ever screamed 2015 like this outfit does? I do not think so. This is about a young girl. I don't know her name. Sophia. Sophia. Oh, the English title, by the way, is I think 7 Days with You. Yeah, and this is about an international student in Tokyo. She lives there with her mom and is going to an international school and everything. But she and her mom are about to leave Tokyo for final to return to the US after having lived there for a couple of years. And it's just kind of her experiencing those last days. For those of you that don't know, I was an exchange student in China in 2018. I lived there for a year when I was 16. And so I just feel like this will hit very close to home, because like the last few days that you spend in a very foreign but at the same time familiar environment to then go back home, but is it still really your home if you've spent so much time there? I feel like this is going to hit very close to home. It's also going to be a love story, which I don't know how I feel about, because it's taking place over 7 days. So like I don't know how developed that love story is going to be, but I do hope that I'm going to enjoy this and that I will find this very relatable. Then the last book that I have on my summer TBR that I don't own yet is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I don't own this book yet. I'm not sure which edition and which translation I should get, and I don't know if I should get a German or an English copy yet either. I thought I was gonna get an English copy, but now I'm not so sure. We'll see. We'll get there, you know? I don't really know anything about this book other than that it's a revenge story. Have I written anything down about it? Oh yeah, so every single summer, again, because it is my big reading time during the year, I end up reading like one chunky, intimidating classic. This classic is going to be The Count of Monte Cristo, and honestly, I'm very excited for it. A lot of YouTubers that I trust, a lot of reviewers that I trust have said that it's a very fun and very endearing story. Like you can't put the book down, it doesn't feel like it's that long, you fly through it, and That's what I'm hoping for. I don't know why I'm so aggressive with my hand movements, like, sorry. Yeah, but that's the last book that I hope to read this year. Not the last book that I hope to read this year, the last book on this video. That I'm hoping to read this summer. Let me know what you have on your summer TBR. Like, do you get a lot of reading done during the summer, or are you more of a winter reader? Personally, I'm more of a summer reader. Let me know if you have any chunky classics that you're going to get through the summer. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give me a like if you liked the video, that would be very much appreciated. Maybe consider subscribing if you're feeling a little funky, if you're feeling adventurous today, you know, hit that little button, see what happens. And if you do, I will see you in my next video. Bye!